This is how I started making money as a video editor, from being literally broke to now running a company of 3 video editors. So I started this journey with my shitty 5-year-old laptop, which honestly my parents bought me from high school, and I'm always going to be grateful for them. And although it could run Premiere Pro, the one thing it couldn't do was run it well. So the playback would lag really badly. The audio on my laptop was kind of scuffed, so sometimes I couldn't hear the audio quite well. If I was to do a couple gigs of video, it would literally be mayhem. So I had to get resourceful on how I started doing video editing. It's not about the resources you have, it's about how resourceful you can be. And that's when I figured something called proxy, which is artificially lowering your video resolution to a manageable size that your computer can run it quite well. And it doesn't matter if you have a really shit laptop or if you have a really good laptop. If you're editing 1080, 4K, even more, a proxy is something that's going to be a life changer. And if your laptop is just not the best right now, that is totally okay. Look up something called creating proxies for your video editing, and that's going to be a game changer. A couple of the tricks that I had to get resourceful on was my keyboard. The most common buttons I would be pressing is the cutting, the pasting, and the deleting, which is Control Z, Control V, Control X. And so I got into the shortcut space and I actually buy keyboards that have these macros at the end, because then I could just press one button rather than 2 buttons every single time. In terms of getting clients, the first way I really started was honestly through volunteering. I would go up to local organizations like my local council, local volunteering organizations around me, and I just asked them, hey, I'd love to do a paid editing gig. I really want to get into this space. Let me know if that's something that you need. And either I was lucky or I just did something correct, but I landed a few gigs. I landed a gig with the police academy down here in Australia, high schools, and even local councils. Now, they weren't paying well, but they did give me a portfolio to start with, as well as experience that I needed to have. I remember I was editing their video for ages. It was for a 3-minute video and I was taking ages to edit because I had to learn how to use Premiere Pro on a shitty laptop whilst producing some sort of results. The key here to understand is that your network can be your net worth. If it wasn't for me asking specific people in those organizations, I might not have landed any gigs to help me improve my editing game. So now getting into the real life clients, which is where I don't really know them and I don't have any trust with them. How did I do that? And the answer was I hopped onto freelancing websites like Fiverr and Upwork, where I knew that the buyer intent would actually be quite high. Buyer intent meaning that there are people who are looking to pay for services, but probably for quite cheap. So all I had to do was set up my few gigs and I used the videos and experiences I had with the local organizations as my portfolio. Now that helped me in terms of social proof, so people would know what sort of videos they would get if they were to work with me. But the key here is how I got clients quite fast. I'm pretty sure it was just like 1 month of being on Fiverr and Upwork. And I think the reason was because I really undercharged my services. I don't like to undercharge my services ever again. I would only do it if I need a client at the moment, because I was literally charging $25 for 5 short form content. Now short form content are those 1-minute vertical videos with like captions and then cuts and trims. And obviously it was quite low pay, which was literally $5 per video. But the way it helped me wasn't just monetarily. It was about getting as much experience as I can outside of video editing, from how well can I set up my gigs? How well can I communicate with clients? What is my response rate? What were the reviews that I was getting? The key here is to understand that although you're a freelancer, you are also a business owner. As I spent about 6 months consistently doing this, I ended up getting about 20 5-star reviews, and that's when Fiverr started recommending my services to buyers. When I noticed a key jump in my DMs of people wanting to get video editing work done, that's when I knew that I needed to increase my pricing to meet up with that demand. So I increased my pricing from $25 for every 5 video to $65 for every 5 short form video. And that was such an amazing experience because although I doubled my pricing, my workload lowered, I was actually making some money off the work that I did. And so that helped me buy my first ever PC, which had, the RTX 3060, the Ryzen 3,500 something, but it was an investment to make so that I could keep editing videos and throw out this shitty old laptop. So once all of that was rolling and I was creating edits, I was building my own experience, I was improving day by day, that's when I realized it's time to delve into the real world with my experience. Although Fiverr is great to get started and to make a livable income, it's not something that's going to help you scale, because Fiverr is a website that is very competitive, and so you have to charge quite low if you want to get a big number of clients. And so for me to make a lot more, I had to delve into social media, which is where you might have seen all my social media posts and my personal branding, because that is the way that I'm currently trying to find big style clients. And that was basically last year. And the journey in short was I had to do the outreach game. I did the sending cold DMs, the cold emails. But the one thing I noticed that really helped was rather than sending emails and saying, I'd love to do your work for free, I actually just gone ahead and edited one of this client's video. And this client has to be your ideal client. You don't want to work in an industry that you're not going to get any value out of. That's just going to make you burnt out. So I went with this client. His name is Matt Srama, and he's this amazing guy, heaps of charisma. I took one of his videos out of his Instagram and I edited it and I sent it to him to his email. And I basically said, hey, I've improved your video. I'm actually looking for clients. I'd love to work with you. Give me a call, etc. And the best thing was I sent that email at 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. that day, I got a call from Matt Srama himself, which blew my absolute mind. And so, 2 to 3 months later, I started working with Matt. And the key here to understand is it's not just I'm working with Matt, but Matt has other references, other business owners, has other friends who need video editing help. And what he did was he referred me to other successful clients. I ended up working with quite high profile entrepreneurs on social media who needed that 30 to 80 to 90 to 100 video a month. And that's where my workload started quadrupling. So that's where I'm at right now. I've got a portfolio of really big clients. I've got a team of video editors. The key challenge for me this time is how to scale all of this, because honestly, training, what I've seen is it's universally a hard topic. It's a very hard thing to train people. And the way that I'm noticing that's really helped is by building systems in the business. That's where I'm at the moment. I'm trying to build a system that's either in the marketing space, in the sales space, and in the service delivery space. Let me know if any of this resonated with you. I'd love to know your thoughts on where I could do things better. I'd love to know your thoughts of where you're at probably this time around the video editing journey. Make sure to leave a comment and don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because I'm going to see you guys in the next video.